Discovering that my fiancé was already married came as a gut-wrenching blow, but instead of walking away, I hatched a plan more sinister. He never imagined that I would stoop to this level, and my scheme was about to take a shocking turn. Little did he know, I had a secret weapon in mind that would leave him utterly stunned. But before we start, smash the like button and make sure to subscribe if you haven't, and hit that notification bell so that you won't miss any new stories. He had no idea that I knew about his double life, and I intended it to stay that way until I worked out my entire plan. I presumed his wife didn't know about me either, which meant she was just as much of a victim as I was. I knew I had to concoct a plan to make him regret ever screwing us over. Mark had always been too good to be true. The moment that man walked into my life, I was on a cloud soaring high in the sky. It had been so great that I hadn't known I had deeply fallen for him until it was too late. I had been such a fool. The moment I found the evidence, I remembered the need to scream at him, to cuss him out, but I knew that would merely be a short-term solution. After realizing his deceit, I was abruptly taken off cloud 9 as important details started to piece together. The absence of his family, the consistent absence during certain dates and holidays, and his reasoning for them. I had been gullible enough to trust him, but he had merely fooled me for 3 whole years. However, I would make sure that I had the final laugh. No, that filthy little weasel had a family that was very much alive, especially his wife and 2 kids. It had disgusted me, not only him, but I had also been disgusted with myself. She would soon see what a lying piece of shit he was. I had it all planned out, a confirmed trip to Japan. I had seen it in his work email, and it would be the moment I would fly out to his wife and kids. If this were going to happen, I would make sure his whole world would go up in flames, and who better help me with my revenge than the other woman he'd scorned? It had been awful, though, pretending like I still loved him, giving him a goodbye kiss instead of kicking him in the shin. However, as soon as he boarded the plane, I knew my plan was coming into motion. I felt a bit nervous going back to the airport. The flight wasn't long, only a couple of hours, and finding his place wasn't too difficult. His actual last name was apparently quite well known in this city, generational wealth and all. After some investigating and searching, I found it and stood face to face with his front door. She was absolutely breathtaking, and my heart broke for her. How could her husband, my fiancé, cheat on her? She had a sweet smile on her face, paired with curious eyes as she greeted me. I swallowed hard, the smile on my lips not quite reaching my eyes. "Hi, sorry for coming unannounced." I paused, trying to find the words. "My name is Amy, and I don't know how to tell you this, but we have something important to discuss." She brought me into the house and offered me tea. As we exchanged simple pleasantries, the foundation of a deep bond started to form. Over chamomile tea, our narratives began to intertwine. Mark's intricate deceptions echoed eerily in both our tales. He always had a perfect excuse, Sarah mused, her face shadowed by memories. Betrayed and deceived, we found ourselves becoming uncanny reflections of each other's profound pain. "I was so terribly blind," I whispered, my voice tinged with sorrow. Sarah, with compassionate eyes, responded softly, "We both were. We absolutely have to stop him," Sarah declared, her voice unwavering. Diving into the labyrinth of Mark's financial records wasn't easy. Each document, each statement told a fragment of a concealed narrative. Numbers rarely lie, and the inconsistencies in his dealings began to surface. Late-night, caffeine-fueled sessions led to one discovery after another. The complex web of deceit was unraveling. How much more was hidden? Amidst a dusty box, Sarah found a cache of old letters and worn-out photographs. The intimate words and pictures hinted at liaisons unknown to either of us. Faces of women with smiles and looks of adoration directed towards Mark. With every letter she read, Sarah felt the knife of betrayal twist deeper. These weren't just clues, but testaments to Mark's treachery. How could one man deceive so many? Sarah took a bold step, reaching out to figures from Mark's distant past. Their hesitance was palpable. With some persuasion, they began to open up. Old tales surfaced, each resonating with familiar patterns of deception. One name led to another, creating a chain of past victims and collaborators. The gravity of our findings was horrifying. We began our vigil, trailing Mark discreetly. From coffee shops to the late-night bars, we were but shadows, watching, waiting. We documented it all, capturing his routines and actions. One evening, Mark's behavior deviated. He began meeting individuals we couldn't recognize, always in dimly lit corners of obscure establishments. These rendezvous piqued our interest. Who were these shadowy figures? Weeks of surveillance culminated in a mountain of recordings. Together, Sarah and I reviewed them, connecting the dots. With each playback, a more sinister picture emerged. Conversations, meetings, and actions started forming a narrative that was darker than we ever imagined. Mark wasn't just a deceitful lover, he was knee-deep in something more nefarious. Revisiting our surveillance tapes, I noted encrypted conversations and coded messages. Mark wasn't just involved in simple deceit, there were layers to his duplicity. Sarah and I exchanged worried glances, realizing that his actions hinted at deeper, more sinister involvements. While infidelity was our initial target, the information we unearthed painted a broader, more complex conspiracy. It wasn't just about other women. Mark seemed entrenched in a web much larger than we'd imagined. As we delved deeper, a name frequently appeared. Anton Varela, known for his notorious dealings. Mark's association with such figures alarmed us. The risks of our venture became palpable. Mark was not only cheating, he was mingling with dangerous circles. Sarah and I faced a moral quandary. Do we proceed, risking our safety, or do we retreat? With Mark potentially embroiled in a criminal empire, our mission became more hazardous yet even more essential. Word spread discreetly of our mission, reaching ears we hadn't expected. Behind the scenes, influential figures, wronged or simply disapproving of Mark's actions, silently pledged their assistance. Sarah and I decided on the grandest stage for Mark's comeuppance, the annual City Gala, an event graced by influential figures, the press and society's who's who. Invitations were sent, and the stage was set. The night would not just be a showcase of luxury and extravagance, but also of a man's reckoning. The night of the gala, a large screen displayed Mark's dubious financial transactions for all to see. Murmurs turned into gasps. His investors, colleagues, friends, all were there, all were watching. The shock was evident in their faces as evidence of Mark's scams played out, scandalizing the elite crowd. But that wasn't all. A chilling video followed, a car's dash cam footage, capturing a hit-and-run incident from years ago. The driver was unmistakably Mark. As the clip concluded, police officers entered the venue. Mark, pale and shaken, was handcuffed and taken away. The murmurs grew louder, whispers of disbelief and shock echoing through the hall. The media had a field day. Headlines screamed of Mark's infidelity, his financial frauds, and now the hit and run. He became the talk of the town, a cautionary tale. Our mission was complete. The man who had wronged us, who had built his life on the suffering of others, was no more. As the days went by, it became clear that while the pain of betrayal lingered, it was accompanied by profound growth. "Our scars are our stories," Sarah remarked one evening. We recognized that these wounds also held wisdom, reminding us of our resilience and teaching us the importance of trust and intuition. While our initial quest had been fueled by a thirst for revenge, it became evident that the universe had a bigger plan. One serene evening, as the sunset painted the sky, Sarah and I made a pact. We vowed to always be there for each other, to be the shoulder to lean on, and the voice of reason when needed. We promised to stand together, not just against the world's marks, but in every twist and turn life had to offer.